Dan, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
How do you spell IBC tote?
Jeez, it's way too early in the day for me to think this hard. IBC oat.
Yeah, all right. I don't know what it is with IBC totes. they're they're just boring to me. Am I allowed to say that?
Well, yeah,
I
sure.
I see. The reason I say that is I finally scavenged two,
Oh,
and I see where they can make a place in my production. Not just the cage, but also like the plastic bladder on the inside of it. And I was going to do a video of it, but I was thinking, this is, it's just, how many videos on YouTube are there of IBC totes? They're just boring to me. Do I really want to do one? Is there anything I can do differently about them to make it an interesting video?
yeah. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think I have seen it all. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
really not very many variations though. The how to use them. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Do you know what IBC stands for?
something about isn't it like international bulk container or something?
Intermediate
Intermediate. There you go.
bulk container. I guess for our listeners out there who don't know what an IBC tote is, it's like this cage that has a pallet on the bottom of it, and it holds a big plastic tank that holds some kind of a liquid. I guess it could be anything from uh, maple syrup
Yeah, yeah. Food.
to hydrochloric acid, I
Right.
guess. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And this I hope this podcast isn't about IBC totes. It's just something that's popped into my head. I saw the recording light come on, and I don't know, just IBC tote
Wow. So
popped into my head. I'm really stressing. I guess I probably should do a video of them, but I just find them boring. Does that
yeah,
make me a bad person?
I've actually started. No, it doesn't. No, Joe,
Thank,
you're fine.
thank.
I've actually started using a couple of them just as ways to transport wood from my splitter to where I'm stacking it. So, like instead of what you use as your dump trailer, like I'm using IBC totes. I know a lot of people use them just to, for long term storage. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm the same. The other crazy thing, just quick about them, is they just have gotten so ridiculously expensive. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't. I got these for free, and
Oh,
well, they look like they were free too. But I still think I can make something useful out of them. And I just had a big pile of offcuts from my firewood processor, and I backed my truck up to them and put them all into the bed of the truck and drove it over to my woodshed and stacked them. But I thought, you know what, this would be ideal for one of those cages
yeah,
where I would just throw them in, and then when it gets full, I would forklift it over to my woodshed.
right. But
So yeah, I think I'm going to do something like that, but I don't know. I'm thinking of YouTube videos. First, okay, everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Woodhounds podcast. My name is Joe, and I'm talking with Dan.
yes, here we are on another episode of the
Yeah,
Woodhounds. Yeah,
and in case you didn't know, we are both what, Dan?
we are both YouTube channels and
Y-
very handsome and intelligent. I
And our
don't,
wives love us.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're both YouTube channels. Dan's YouTube channel is Back 40 Firewood. My YouTube channel is Ohio Woodburner. And we post videos throughout our day of just showing our daily routines, what we do good, what we don't do well.
Most of my videos.
Yeah. And we just thought we would try to take our interests to the podcast universe. And poof, here we are.
Here we are. Yeah.
And here we are on a podcast talking about YouTube. And I don't know. I guess I just had IBC totes on my brain, and
Well,
that was the first thing
did
that popped into my head here.
did you were you recently watching some YouTube videos on IBC totes, or did you see them somewhere on YouTube that you had them
Yeah,
on your
well, that's the
mind?
thing. There are a lot of videos about IBC totes, a lot. And, there's really not much else you can do. People cut the cages so that they cut like a little opening so you could get into them. And then
Yep.
they pull that plastic bladder out, and then they stand there and they scratch their head thinking, how can I how can I dispose of this thing in the neighbor's yard without them ever noticing it? Because you're kind of left with something that's going to go into the garbage, I guess.
Well, or have you seen any videos where like non-firewood channels that are using IBC totes? For instance, I've seen where a someone used those plastic bladders as a little like hut for like goats. Like they made a little place for goats to go in and sleep, or a little
Oh yeah.
dog kennel.
Huh.
Yes,
Well, I need to go get me some goats.
yeah. There's some interesting stuff out there in YouTube.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I guess that makes a lot of sense. I do watch other things on YouTube, other than Firewood channels. I'm going to be honest. Do you watch all the Firewood channels?
I watch as many as I can that I have time for. I kind of bounce around, between various
Yeah,
ones, and I mean, and I
I do too.
also, I mean, I have a few other interests as well besides firewood. Maybe not as many as most people, but
Yeah. I watch the Firewood channels too. I probably don't watch them as much as I would think I do, and maybe that's just because, that's those are my channels. Those are my type of videos too, and I just like variety. And I tend to look at other YouTube videos and different. I don't like the word niche or niche. I don't like that word,
niche.
but
The niches.
I don't know. When I was growing up, the word was niche, but now it's niche. And I
Niche.
just don't, yeah, I don't like the word niche, but I do watch different ones.
Oh,
And, yeah, but
such
that's a good
as.
idea. Oh, well, okay.
Yeah,
I,
I think this might be interesting to know. Like, where
well,
does Ohio
if,
woodburners' interests flow outside of firewood?
yeah, well, I have this habit where I read books. And I watch videos about books, the way people read, like they'll read the same novel as I and they have observations about that. I'll watch that.
Oh,
I have an interest in astronomy, in history, World War II, Civil War. But the one niche that the one
topic, topic.
the one category that I watch a lot of is van life. Have you ever heard of that?
Van life.
Van life. Yeah, it's fascinating. These people will buy one of these Ford Transit vans, like
Okay.
what the plumber drives,
Yep.
or what's the Mercedes, that Dodge Ram van,
Yep.
um, and they don't do anything to the outside. It just looks just like a cargo van, but on the inside they build these laid out campers with
Mm.
with a kitchen and a bathroom and a shower, and they just go drive. And I've convinced my wife that this could be in our future. And and I want to get a Ford Transit van, and put solar power in it and a kitchen and a bed. And I want to like just go drive because I really think you could park one of these things on the street in New York City and live there and no one would know it.
Yeah. Yes, I know what you mean now, and I have seen those channels. I've
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there
Yeah.
too, and it's like a lifestyle, and it's very appealing to me. And I also like the thought of maybe building my own van. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, the one channel that I watch, it's called Eamon and Beck, and Eamon is the guy's name. It's spelled like Eamon, and they are just a fun couple. They've taken their van to Africa. They've really gotten big.
Whoa.
However, well, the Beck, unfortunately, is battling breast cancer now, and that has
Mm,
interrupted their channel. And it's just, sad,
yeah.
to see young people like that. But anyhow, it's a great channel and it's a great niche. So I do watch a lot of van life.
The one thing I've seen those type of videos, and then like the off grid, homesteading channels.
Yes.
And the one thing I always wonder is like, okay, let's take the van life. If you're driving out, like you're in remote wherever, you know, living in your van, how do you upload your video? Like, where are you getting service, or where are you getting an internet connection?
Yeah, I guess you'd have to go into town eventually, huh, and upload.
Or maybe they document like a couple months and then they go, like maybe they're a couple months behind on their adventures. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what these the van life people do? They all buy a membership to Planet Fitness. Because Planet Fitness is, if you hold a card, you can go to any Planet Fitness in the country. And I guess a lot of semi truck drivers now do this too, because then they go in to Planet Fitness. Either I guess you can work out or not, but they go in to use the bathroom and shower. Because a lot of
Oh.
these vans, they're kind of cramped inside and they don't have bathrooms, or I guess only for like a super duper emergency.
We've all been
And that's
there.
like, well, that's going to be the limiting factor for me and my wife, because I'm serious. Some of these people, their bathroom is like a 5-gallon bucket and a Walmart bag,
Yep.
and that
Yeah.
ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. But they do have like these composting toilets and cassette toilets. And I'm still saying that's not going to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not going
No.
to do that. It's going to have a
Emergency
flush
only.
toilet in it, or it's not going to have anything.
So
Yeah,
where?
but van life is, I just love that niche. I love it.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen those. There's another one that I've similar to that I've watched before. Stealth camping,
Yeah.
where like someone will go out into an area undetected and then spend the night and
Yeah.
then sneak back out the next morning.
Right. There's people even do that. They'll like sleep in their car in a, in like the Cracker Barrel parking lot or something,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
just somewhere on the street, and they try to get away with it. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. And it's like,
I've watched these stealth campers too. Like they've taken a tent and a sleeping bag out in a residential neighborhood, and
yep.
they sleep in the in a like a wooded lot that's between two houses, just to see how long they can do it.
Yeah, that's something that and I don't know if that's what draws me to it is the fact that I probably would never be able to do that, because I'm just like, how would you, especially now, this day and age, like if you were sneaking into people's property just to try to spend the night for a YouTube
Yeah.
video, oh, I
Uh-huh.
don't know.
Yeah. There's another type of video I like is solar power. I find solar power fascinating, and I'm loving these new these lithium iron phosphate batteries. They're just fascinating to me. And I do watch solar power. This one solar video channel, it's called DIY Solar with Will Prouse, Prouse. He's a young kid, lives out in Las Vegas, where solar power makes a lot of sense. But
Yep.
he is like a rags to riches story. He started off, he had a dysfunctional relationship with his parents, and he lived in a van. And part of his interest was solar power, and he started building solar power systems for people. And then he started a YouTube channel. Now he's become a zillionaire.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's
Yep.
very upfront about it, everything. And he is such an influencer in solar. When he does a product review, and if he gives it the thumbs up, it sells out on Amazon. That's how
Wow.
powerful his voice is. Yeah. But
So
he what I like about him, he doesn't mince words. If something is a turkey, he comes right out and says it and just slams stuff,
wow.
you know? Yeah.
So those like your favorite categories, favorite channels?
Yeah, I think, okay, firewood. Let's just say firewood.
Yeah.
And then yeah, solar, literature, history. But I can go down the rabbit holes with just like everyone else. You ever like open up YouTube and there's like just some bizarre video on there of like a waterfall or a flood?
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
you watch that, and then like I kind of go in cycles like that. I'll get on a niche, I'll get the itch for a niche, and
I
I'll
love
like
it.
go down it, for a couple weeks, and then I, go back to something else, or
Right. Yeah, I think that's probably good and bad on the way YouTube is. If you watch a video, then you start getting recommendations, recommendations, recommendations,
yes,
from something loosely associated with it. I don't know. I go into my history a lot and I start deleting stuff because, I start losing interest in
yeah.
I don't
Fire
know,
back 40
crochet.
firewood. what what is this knucklehead
Crocheting,
up to
yeah,
today?
some right, yeah. And then I just try to clear stuff out. I have like another my own personal YouTube, what is that? I guess a channel,
Yeah,
which has different stuff. There's like I don't know what the right word is. Business. There's this real big channel, Valuetainment, and this guy's like a big, big, big millionaire name, and he has a zillion followers. And I probably disagree with a lot of his posts, but I like to listen to it. I don't insulate myself from other opinions.
yeah,
I think some people, probably a lot of people do, but I think it's good to hear stuff that I disagree with.
right, yeah.
Uh,
That's always, you might open your mind up to a new perspective, or way of looking at something, and
yeah.
it's always good.
Well, yeah. That's just the way I am.
Are there any specific videos that you can recall as like being your top videos, or even podcast video, just like an episode
Yeah.
or
Well, okay. If you are asking me what is my favorite video of all time on YouTube, they're funny ones. It is it is called Tennis Court Fail. It is the funniest 30 seconds of my life. I can turn it on at any time and I will literally be laughing out loud. It is the funniest thing I have ever, ever, ever seen. It's a it's yeah, Tennis Court Fail, it's called. It's a guy and he's trying to run onto a tennis court. You just gotta see it.
well, hopefully whatever channel it's on, um will appreciate all the views that now it's possibly going to
Yeah.
get.
But then there's, the classics like Chocolate Rain, Charlie Bit My Finger. I Like Turtles is probably in my top 5. Have you ever seen I Like Turtles?
No,
Oh
wow,
god,
I'm
you are
feeling
an
like I'm just,
insulated you are an
yes.
insulated person. Yeah, you gotta get onto YouTube and type in "I Like Turtles." Just a
Oh.
classic. It was a roaming reporter at a county fair. And then so then the other one. You ever watch, like, on YouTube, like, these, newscast fails, where, like,
Yes.
they say something. So, the funniest YouTube video, probably the 2nd funniest behind a tennis court fail, is called, it's called "Gay Mount Everest." And this isn't offensive here, guys, so don't get upset with me here, but that's the title of it, "Gay Mount Everest." Yeah, it is. I'm serious. If you ever have a bad day, just type in "Gay Mount Everest, tennis court fail," and "I like turtles." On
Wow. See, I find like the Family Feud bloopers and outtakes
Oh, yeah.
with like Steve Harvey. I've
Steve
been
Harvey
watching
is awesome, isn't he?
yeah, I've been watching those lately, but I don't know if I could say like I can recall and name like an actual video that
Oh, you
like
can't.
this turtle one.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's a classic. It's probably got a zillion views. Yeah.
I
I
like
like
turtle.
but yeah, but Steve Harvey's awesome. Steve Harvey has a great backstory to his life.
Yes, yes,
And
he
yeah,
does.
yeah, he does. He was up against it, before he was one of the guys that was trying to make a living in stand-up comedy, and he was ready to turn left and give it up, and then the phone rang right at the very last second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's
and he hasn't forgot where he came from either.
no.
He's very appreciative. He is a very good man. I love that guy.
Yeah. And that's one of the
And
things, like there's just so much out there on YouTube. I mean, it's just crazy.
there, there is, and there's a lot of bad stuff out there too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. But Sarah, that was I let me ask you this. You grew up probably in the 70s and 80s. So do you watch more? I'm saying that you were a child of television growing up. Now, do you watch more television or more YouTube?
Oh, more YouTube.
I am the same.
Yep. Way more
Yeah.
YouTube. But there again, I'm limited on the time I have to watch. So, that's where I sometimes, I'll get on something and I'll start clicking on the next video and on the next, and all of a sudden, 2 hours goes by and I'm like, what happened? And then I like have to force myself away from
Uh,
my laptop and, you know, so
yeah.
yeah, I do limit some of the, just because I'm busy doing my own YouTube stuff. So,
Uh-huh. I watch your channel and I watch my channel too. And do you watch any of your old videos?
yes, I do.
I
And,
have a favorite video of yours.
uh-oh.
It was your 1 year anniversary video. I loved it.
Ooh, the 1 year anniversary or the road, roadside stand one. That one was a popular one, but
Yeah. No, for me, it was the 1 year anniversary.
oh,
Yeah. I thought that changed the Firewood community when you did that. That's how I thought it was a great video, but I thought it was an important video. Loved it.
wow. Thanks. Yeah, I don't even, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that now. I've been watching more of my old stuff, kind of like repurposing it for like other platforms, and I'm actually thinking about doing a. Have you ever seen the videos like on YouTube where they somebody will like watch and listen to a song for the first time, reaction videos?
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yes.
I love I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan, and watching people react to the first time they've heard a Pink Floyd song, like Great Gig in the Sky, and they start crying and stuff. That's it. That hits, man. What a
Yeah.
great. Yeah, they love those videos.
So I'm thinking about doing videos where I go back and watch my old videos and react to them about how terrible they are. and just say, what was I thinking? Because
Yeah.
oof, man.
I don't I've Here's a trivia question for you. I have done one video where I was not wearing my Ohio Woodburners clown suit, as I call
Ooh.
it. Yeah, it was a very early one. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it would be my gimmick, so I always wear my clown suit when I do my videos.
Well, that must help in the edit if you need to ever like splice something together. You don't have to worry about changing your clothes or having a different outfit on.
Yeah, well, I do have my one green shirt that the logo is a little bit too low on the chest, and I
Oh.
notice it. Sometimes because you get sweaty and stuff and you change shirts and I was like, everyone's gonna notice this, but I haven't been called out on it yet.
Now you will be. Somebody will notice
Yeah.
it now. No, but I remember one of your one of the first videos I saw of yours was you were out on a delivery, and I think I mentioned this
Uh-huh.
before. I just liked how like you must have dropped your daughter off and then drove around the block and like got your
Yeah.
shot of you coming in, and then like it was just all that perspective of like, because a lot of the channels are like, like they're filmed like selfie videos, like you don't have that camera person to get the perspective
Right.
from the point of view of somebody else watching you pull into the restaurant. Or so that's one of the first things that hooked me on your channel.
Yeah, that was an important video for us for a number of reasons. Okay, we were just becoming seen then and we were growing, and so I got really passionate. And I love the Mahoning Valley where I'm from in the city of Youngstown. It is a great place, and it's got a bad rap and it doesn't deserve it. And I love Ohio and I love my hometown, and I just wanted to share it with everyone. And that was just footage of like downtown Youngstown and
Yeah.
Youngstown State University, and I just wanted it to be a celebration. Of course, we were on a delivery, but
Right.
I think too that's probably why I love what I do right now, is because I did videos too where I was on a delivery and I stopped at the William McKinley Memorial, and just
Yep.
show I showed the Trumbull County Courthouse, which is just a gorgeous building. And so I that's one of the things I just try to do. It's not, I mean, it is splitting wood and stacking it, but I try to
Right.
show a little bit more of my area.
Incorporate that stuff into your videos without like being specific and saying, okay, today I'm going to drive past this. You just,
Yeah.
you kind of incorporate it all in. And
Hmm. But that's not my favorite video that I've done.
oh,
My favorite video it's titled, "I Can't Believe I Bought This Chainsaw." And I had bought that battery powered chainsaw from Walmart on an impulse purchase. And we filmed it, and it was done at real time. I didn't like try it and then clean it up and then do a video on it. So the
mm,
reactions that you saw were real and authentic. And I was impressed with it. I thought, wow, this thing,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, the faces I made and my reactions, that was all genuine. I think that's why I like that so much.
Yeah. I try to do that as much as I can, but I do remember that video now.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
that actually made
Yeah.
me think about getting one.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should. Well, and even like, that's where when I review stuff, I don't it's just the way I am. I'm not into numbers, and you hear a lot of reviews. Like I watched other reviews of that same chainsaw, and these guys are saying this is a 40 amp, and they're reading off all
Yeah.
of these digits and they don't know what the heck they're talking about. And then when I was reviewing it, I said, 20, 40, whatever, guys. I don't know what this means,
Right. Stick the battery in, pull the trigger, the chain moves.
Yeah, I pull out the owner's manual and I was like, who needs this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into that either. Like, people will like read off certain specs or like a title of this is the XBY 57C. Well, what the heck does that
Yes.
mean? I don't know. Like
Yeah.
why read it, why say stuff like that I don't know.
Yeah. When I review stuff, I review it as what does it mean to me and how will this work for me?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I show it. Yeah. But I do watch product reviews. And that's what I think what's so great about YouTube. There is nothing I think that's going to be bought in the country, that isn't first checked out on YouTube first.
Yeah.
Because
It,
you can find everything on there.
if you want to do, or like if you want to do something, or if you need to fix something, or you want to buy something, you just type it in, and you're going to see a video about it from somebody.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Or tennis court fail.
Or tennis court failures. Or living in a van down by the river with a
Yeah,
solar
living in
panel.
a van down by the river. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I watch stuff from the 80s. I love watching old commercials, you know.
Oh
You
yeah.
learn,
Yep.
like, if you're a Karate Kid fan, with Elizabeth Shue, who was Daniel's girlfriend, she got started as a Burger King in a Burger King commercial. So you can see like, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, they were all in the same commercial. It's kind of cool to see where people got their
Yeah.
starts. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot out there, but above and beyond, the most entertaining and interesting niche on YouTube is the firewood niche.
Yeah. Firewood. Isn't it?
It is.
That's what and that's why I get real disappointed when some channels jump into politics and stuff. I was like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
We all have one thing in common, and it's firewood, man. Who
Yeah.
cares? I don't care where you live, who you voted for, who your favorite sports team is. I don't care about nothing.
No.
We all have something in common, so let's celebrate it.
Right.
Hmm.
And find all the people out there like that. Because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the name of the game.
Leave it at the door and let's celebrate. That's the way I see things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the way it's going to be with me.
Well, now that most of the people listening have probably tuned out to go search for tennis court fail and I like Mount Everest or whatever that was.
Gay Mount Everest,
I like
and
turtles.
I like turtles.
We probably can, if anyone's still listening, we could probably
Yeah.
wrap this episode up.
Yeah, guys. So if you're out there, send us some emails with your observations. And
Yes.
if you have a favorite channel, or if you have a favorite YouTube video of all time, send us an email. We'd like to see it, and we'll share it with you. I do
Yes.
know what my favorite podcast is. Do you have a favorite podcast?
I don't listen to many podcasts other than this one. This is my favorite.
That's what I was waiting for you to say. This is the Woodhounds.
Yes, but send us an email. The email address is thewoodhounds@gmail.com. And yeah, let us know what you actually, you know what we should do? Maybe we should ask them what their favorite video from our channel is.
Okay.
So, you know,
I like
we want to try to keep these people, you know, we don't want to send them to somewhere else and lose them. we want to keep them going down the Firewood rabbit hole. You know, I'm just messing around.
But you know, I'm glad that you brought that up too. That's something else, Dan. I love it that there's a bunch of channels out there, some with a lot of subscribers and some with very few. And I see it as a win-win. It's good for everyone. It's good for the niche. You know, I mean, you look at some of the other niches out there like finance or real estate, you know, there's just all these kind of channels, but it grows and it's good for everyone.
Right.
So yeah, that's the way I see it.
And the other thing that's kind of unique and cool about it is it's just like kind of like a way for everyone to stay in touch about what everyone's kind of doing. You know how, I mean, like growing up, my parents would kind of keep in touch with some relatives up in Alaska, you know, and everyone was always like, what were you up to, you know, last week, or what did you do, you know, with this? And YouTube kind of gives you that opportunity to say, oh, well, here's what so-and-so is up to, or this is what so-and-so did, and here's what I'm doing. And then everyone can kind of, I don't know, just like see what's going on with everyone else.
That is part of my channel. Like on my about page, all it says is it's a day in the life of a firewood delivery service. And that's what that's what I show. If it's, I guess if it is, or if it is not interesting, is what I'm doing. So it's going to be on there. Yep.
Yeah. I received an email from somebody, and it's always funny because the people who like have the negative stuff to say, they don't post it. They just email me because they don't want other people, you know, seeing their comment, I guess. I don't know. But they're like, I don't really enjoy many of your videos because you don't provide any tips or useful information. So today I actually went out, or not today, yesterday I went out and made a video with some useful information in it. That I think is useful. I don't know, but you know.
Yeah. I don't think it needs to be useful. I just think it needs to be.
Right. It's entertainment.
Sure.
It's something to give you a view into, like you said, the day in the life.
Yeah. I try to keep to a business theme, but you know, don't. That's just the way I do it. I think I probably should admonish people more. I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong because I do it differently. It's just the way I do it. Don't look at me for safety. Don't look at me for chainsaw tips. Don't look at me for tractor safety. And I'm an end user just like everyone else.
Right. Yes, indeed. But yeah, let us know out there if you have favorite YouTube niches or categories or channels. Send us an email. It'd be kind of cool to, you know, it's always nice to discover new things.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's nice to have a Firewood podcast and talk about things other than firewood.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing for sure, though. Yeah. One thing for sure, Dan, I'm glad I've got to meet you, and I'm glad that we have this podcast.
Absolutely. And I'm glad I now know you like turtles.
But you're not going to see me run onto a tennis court like that guy in this video.
I was just going to ask if you're going to play tennis, or, you know, when your adventure takes you down the road in your van, are you going to be playing tennis?
All right. Well, Dan, maybe it's time we strike up the band.
Ba-dum, bum, bum. Here we go. Yes. once again, thank you, everyone. And again, Joe, yeah, this podcast is just another great extension of, I think, our friendship that we've been able to build here through YouTube. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this then. I hope everyone is staying cool and being
fun.
and having
a great day.
Have a safe day.
Yes.